welcome everybody today to our third episode of the Bobcat Beat, our very own podcast here at Hot Springs County School District. My name is Dustin Hunt. I'm the superintendent. I'm extremely excited to be joined with a couple of students here today from our middle school, Thermopolis Middle School, and they are student council members. And I'll start with Paisley. Paisley, will you introduce yourself to the audience and tell us your grade and a little bit about what you do for student council?
Hi, I am Paisley Logan. I'm an 8th grader at Thermopolis Middle School, and I'm the president of Student Council.
President of Student Council. So you had to do all that campaigning last year and run for that office. How was that?
Lots of work. That's what I'll say.
Lots of work. Well, we appreciate the work that you're doing, and we also have Jakay here. Jakay, tell us about yourself.
I'm Jakay Elder. I'm the vice president of TMS. I was recently upgraded to that from historian.
Very good. So you moved from historian up to vice president, and I want to thank you both for putting yourself out there to be student leaders. And you folks do a tremendous amount of work. I have to say that I know you all were responsible for probably one of our biggest traditions here in Thermopolis is our Veterans Day assembly that the middle school does in the auditorium, and the Quilts of Valor and all those things. You all did a fantastic job, as well as did the rest of the students for TMS. But I know that's probably one of the most popular things that we have in our community is a salute to those veterans. So well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. So today I want to talk to you both. So you're all doing some amazing things at Thermopolis Middle School, and I thought it was worth bringing you on the podcast to talk about maybe some of the reasons you feel why you're able to accomplish the things that you are at the middle school. So let's start with some big news. This year, as most of us know here in our community, Thermopolis Middle School was named a National Blue Ribbon School, one of only 3 here in Wyoming this year, and it was really exciting to be able to watch Mr. Luby, your principal, and Mrs. Metz and Mr. Strenger as they got to walk across the stage and be recognized in Washington, D.C. here lately. But that's a national model of excellence, and Thermopolis Middle School achieved that this year. And then for the last 2 consecutive years, you've also been recognized by U.S. News and World Report as the #1 middle school in the state of Wyoming in both 2024 and 2025. And so that's pretty amazing. And like I say, you're doing some amazing things. And can you tell me what you think it means to be recognized as a National Blue Ribbon School? What's it mean to you as students?
I feel like it just means that how much effort you put in is what you get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna put so much and contribute so much, you get the highest reward possible. Right.
I love that, Paisley, because sometimes I know people wonder if we're teaching students work ethic. And, obviously you're putting the two together, aren't you? You're saying what we're doing in school is what we're getting out of school. And so putting in that great effort is a great demonstration of your work ethic. What do you think, Jakay? What do you think it means to be a Blue Ribbon School?
Well, I agree with Paisley. I feel like dedication is one of the biggest things, and it comes from both students and the staff at our school, is that we have goals and we have the dedication to want to achieve those goals.
Mm-hmm. And, I think sometimes we often think about, rewards as something we would work for, but are you really thinking about being a National Blue Ribbon School or being the #1 middle school while you're doing your homework, or are you thinking about how that's going to benefit you in your future? Go ahead and answer that if you would.
I'm honestly not thinking about that while I'm doing stuff. I'm mostly figuring about how to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm kind of the kind of kid that makes sure I want to keep my grades at an A.
Fantastic. Because that's pretty rewarding at some point as well. You're headed into high school now, and the Hathaway Scholarship and all those great things that we have here in Wyoming, those are going to benefit you. So, Paisley, you've really put together this idea that hard work equals opportunities, and that's what we want for all of our students. And that's not just for college. Some students might want to go to trade school. Some students, my My youngest daughter, she has gone to beauty school. She's going to be a hair coloring person and do all that stuff that doesn't help me out at all because I don't have any hair. So, but she's going to do those things and she's following her dreams. She was fortunate to graduate from here. JK, anything to add to that?
Um, no, I feel like Paisley got the gist of it, just like setting yourself up for success.
Yep, setting yourself up for success. Are you two ladies already thinking about what high school is going to be like?
Yeah.
I'm so excited for high school.
So excited for high school. I'm glad to hear that. So, you're obviously experiencing a lot of success as students. The school is getting a lot of recognition. You're doing some fantastic things. What is something that you think contributes to the success of your school, whether that be teachers, students, the programs, or something else? What do you think might be one of the big things that contributes to the success the school's having?
Probably mostly the teamwork and like the dedication between staff and students. Like we're
Mhm.
all one big link.
Well, I love that. So, what you're saying, Paisley, is that there's a lot of teamwork between the teachers, the students, and the rest of the staff, so to get you to your goals. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, JK, add to that for me. What do you think is one thing that contributes to the success of your school and your school experience?
I would say like the opportunities that you're given, like to have one-on-one time with a teacher or even sometimes like a student that understands it better, that like you if you're ever struggling, you're not just left in the dust. There's always someone that's going to help you.
I love that because we say in our school district, all means all, learning for all, learning at high levels. And so one of the ways that I try to describe that for people is that you girls probably do not know, but my dad was a wood and a metal shop teacher. And in his class, you had to pass a test in order to use the power tools, and it was called the safety test. You're probably familiar with that, maybe in Mrs. Martinez's class. But if you didn't pass the safety test, we didn't just move on and then you get to use the tools. We went back and retaught the things that you didn't know and gave you extra opportunities, gave you that one on one help that JK is talking about. Because the idea of a school is not to sort and select our students. We want all of our students to do well. Does that make sense, girls?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do for you. Can you share a specific moment or memory from this school year that made you feel proud to be part of the middle school?
I feel like every student's like most memorable moment is like probably on Monday morning meetings when like they get their name called in front of like the entire middle school staff and students and they get called up for like achievement and like success.
So, Paisley, that's for those that are not familiar, we start out every Monday morning at the middle school. It's quite a tradition, and it's probably one of my favorite ways to start a week is up there at the middle school. But you all start with a Monday morning meeting. Describe to me what that looks like a little bit. You have a whole group of students in the commons. Where are the teachers at when you do that?
Well, all the students are at tables. They're separated by their TMS families. And those are like their where they go every Friday and they have fun and play games and really get connected with one another. And then the teachers are around the border and then they all share like a microphone and they like announce and acknowledge all of the like the success and they give like tickets and those tickets can get used at the end of the year and you can get prizes and stuff.
Right. So celebration of student effort, celebration of student achievement. Is it just academics? Like, so if you just do well on your tests or assessment, or are there other things they celebrate?
Lots of them are also sports.
Also,
Like
sports and activities too. Okay. Is it just students that get celebrated, JK, or do they do are there other groups that maybe get celebrated? Do they celebrate teachers as well?
Yeah, they like give shout outs to other teachers if they did something that was like very helpful to them.
Sure, sure. And I know I've heard a time or two when they had maybe a teacher earned their master's degree or something where they improved their education and that. But I think that's a pretty neat way to start each week. Here we are in the month of Thanksgiving, and we're thinking about all the things we're grateful for. And Monday morning meeting sounds a lot like that to me when I hear your teachers talk about all of you about how how much gratitude they have for the the great work that you're doing as students. And then I love hearing the gratitude from students that that's a great way to start too. And you appreciate being called out and recognized for the things. And, honestly, I don't know that I've seen a better way to start a school week than kind of what you do. And here's the thing that I'm so impressed with. When I go to Monday morning meeting and I watch all of you doing your thing, I'm amazed that we can have an entire school sit in the commons and everybody is so well behaved and so well mannered and not talking over one another. And it's pretty neat to see. So I think that's a great piece that is a good memory. JK, do you have something you'd share about a specific memory this year that you think that made you super proud to be part of the middle school?
I would say not only academically, but like outside of school and for sports.
Mhm.
I'm like proud to be part of TMS because of like sportsmanship and just like good attitudes.
I love it. I love it. That's an important part, right? So even if we're the smartest students, we still have to be able to be good citizens and be kind to other people. And I agree with you. I think we get a number of compliments on what great sportsmen our Bobcats are. Jump to our next question. You have how do you think the teachers at Thermopolis Middle School inspired or challenged you to do your best?
Well, that's undescribable. Like everything they put into like making sure we can be the best we can be. It's really inspiring, honestly.
Hmm. So they're building relationships with you, and you know that they're putting a ton of effort into their work. JK, anything to add to that?
Yeah, just the way that they like care about us and they tell us that and they'll like go out of their way to do things for us.
I love that. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Can you think of a teacher that and I know there's probably more than one because we're blessed with a whole building full of fantastic teachers. But what's one teacher who has really made a difference for you this year?
Probably Caitlin Dudrick.
Mrs.
Number one.
Dudrick, yep,
Yeah.
yep, and you're free to share about what she's done for you.
Well, she's my like family mom, I guess, but she's just like always one person I can like feel free to like let loose on all my thoughts and feelings on.
Yeah, so you're doing tremendous work, and she's a support for you, and you get to touch base with her every Friday, Paisley, through your Friday family piece, right?
Yeah, especially on Mondays too. Like this morning, she may or may not have been talking to me while the other people were talking.
Yeah.
But just like I don't know, that kind of connection is just really strong.
Well, I'm really proud to hear that, and thank you for sharing. JK, what about you? Any teacher that's made a particular difference?
Had the same one as Paisley.
Well, that's fantastic. I bet she's going to love to hear this podcast, and so that's fantastic. What do you think is something that is unique about the way our teachers approach learning that helps you succeed? What do you think something that maybe our teachers do that maybe someplace, if you're going to school in a different place, they don't do maybe as well? JK?
They do a lot of like flex time and like just things that you can get extra work if you need it, but they don't force you to do anything. Like if you feel like you're struggling, you're able to reach out to them and they can pull you during certain times that they could like work with you.
Right.
And also like maps prep and stuff like that
Yep.
is very strong because they want you to watch you learn and grow.
So what you're telling me is, JK, and I'm just paraphrasing to make sure that our listeners understand, you're telling me that basically when you're learning and you're trying as hard as you can, they are there for extra time and support in a lot of different ways to make sure that you're successful. Their success is your success, and your success is their success. Is that be accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. Paisley, anything that you think might be unique about it, the way our teachers approach learning?
Well, they want you to advocate for yourself, advocate for your learning, mostly that. Basically, what JK said, like they want you to push yourself to your limits.
Right. So they want the top potential coming out of you. They want you to earn everything that you can. Okay. What are some subjects or classes that you ladies think are helping our school stand out? I know, that we have kind of we just had our music people here and did a podcast with our music folks. and really excited about our music folks that have joined, Mr. Gertler and those things. But what are some classes that you think help our school stand out, and then why do you enjoy those?
I would
GK, you want to lead
say,
us off?
yeah, I would say probably math. So Miss Metz's class, because it has different levels, because you don't want to overwhelm students who are like on the right level,
Mm-hmm.
but those who could go higher have the opportunity to, because they can take high school classes in middle school, so
Mm-hmm.
that they're pushing themselves as well and like still growing and not staying in the same place.
I love it. And, I wonder how many places around the country, if that same question got asked, that a middle school student would point out a math class. So math's kind of your thing there at the middle school. You do well in a lot of things, but math and ELA and all those core subjects, I love hearing that those are still some of your favorite classes because those are the things we definitely have to make sure we learn in school. And I think it's worth mentioning that Mrs. Metz is in working with the students, is a perennial kind of contender for being the top group of math students in the state of Wyoming almost every year. So, JK, I love that you shouted that out. How about you, Paisley? Anything that you'd share?
Definitely math, and don't take this bias, okay, but your mom's class. I don't know, those two are the hardest classes, like number one hardest ones. But however, I have like the best grade in them.
Yeah.
Like they push me so hard, it's not describable.
Yeah. Well, I love that though. And I feel like, it's a gift when our teachers can push us hard to be our best. And so, Mrs. Elder, I know, I don't think there's anything wrong with shouting her out, even with her daughter sitting here as well, because I know she goes to work every single day with the idea that all of my students are going to learn and they're going to learn and do really well. And I'm glad that you all have that relationship built with your teachers, that you understand that they're not being hard on you, that they're pushing you for your own good, and that someday that's going to equate to opportunities for you. So thank you for shouting out those fantastic classes and those fantastic teachers. So shifting gears just a little bit, ladies. Even with all the success, there's always things that we're trying to improve on in every single school, every single classroom. But are there areas that you think we can grow and challenge ourselves? And if you can think of some of those, what would they be?
Oh, that's a tough one.
And if you can't think of one, that's okay too.
Okay, you got anything?
I've heard a lot of students talking about so I feel like Zap is a good opportunity if you have extra work you don't need to get done. But for
Mhm.
some students, they feel like it's a bad thing because it's called over the intercom.
Yeah.
And so they are saying that they would feel so much more comfortable going into Zap if not everybody knew about it. So if there was like a different way that they
Okay.
could go.
So Zap, for our listeners, for those that don't know, is another opportunity for students to complete work if they don't get it done. But maybe that's something we can explore. Think about how we could notify students differently. I think that's fantastic. What do you think other schools could learn from your school, from Thermopolis Middle School?
How awesome we are.
How awesome you are. You are awesome. You are awesome. I'm proud of all of the work that you're doing. How about you, GK? Anything you think that they could learn from Thermopolis Middle School?
Like that, I guess having the right attitude. So like our teachers are always have a positive attitude and trying to like spread that positivity on us. Like Miss
Mm-hmm.
B the other day told us that like negativity spreads, but so does positivity.
I love it. That's
So
fantastic.
if you want to like be in a safe learning place where you can have fun, having a positive attitude is like the key to doing that.
Okay. Very good. I love that. So you guys are, you ladies are up there kind of at the top of the chain here at the middle school. You're about to become high schoolers not that long from now.
Ugh.
So I know that's coming up, and I know you're excited, but I also know there's a little bit of fear with that. But you both have done such an amazing job taking advantage of all the great opportunities of the middle school. If you could give one piece of advice to younger students that are coming into the middle school, what piece of advice would that be?
Well, I've probably got two. Number one, finish your assignments. And number two, it'd probably be like hard work equals amazing outcomes or something.
I love that. So, Paisley, you think it's really important that they need to finish their assignments.
Yes.
And two, if they realize that the hard work they put in will be what they get out of school. Kind of back, you're kind of coming full circle to what we started the podcast with, where your work ethic is really showing up and you're getting opportunities because of the great work you're doing in school. That's what you'd advise them. I think that's great advice. Okay. How about JK?
I would say that middle school can be more of a challenge than elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
but if you really put in that time and that effort, like you will overcome all of the like harder classes and things
Yep.
like that, and it's truly not that complicated if you are putting in the time and the work.
Right. No barriers, right? Like we're going to achieve, nothing's going to stop us. And, that's why you all are doing as well as you're doing, because you really look at school as the opportunity to be great, and you're doing some amazing things. I can't share without getting emotional how proud I am of you as a school, as your superintendent, and I think that, you know, grades are important, academic achievements important, sports and activities is important. But I think if our listeners are listening to this, they're going to be just as proud as I am of the amazing people that are growing up in our Thermopolis Middle School, going on to high school. Paisley talked about work ethic and how that opens all doors, and JK talked about, not only are we going to be great students, we're also going to be kind and we're going to spread positivity. If you two were in charge of, our United States of America, we'd have a great, great,
Oh gosh.
great situation set up. So I can't tell you how proud I am of the work that you are doing and the people you are becoming. And to wrap things up today, first of all, I want to thank you for being part of this podcast. I'm kind of an amateur podcaster. I'm learning as I go, but I'm looking forward to sharing this with our community because it gives them an insight into all of the fantastic things you're doing. But what do you think is one thing that every student at Thermopolis Middle School should know about the amazing things that are happening in the building?
Probably we are all connected.
That you're all connected, right? And I think you're intentionally connected. I think the way you've built your systems and having Friday families. Before we close, Paisley, would you tell me, explain to our listeners that would not know what Friday families entails, talk about how that's set up, like from the different grade levels so that it's not just one group of eighth graders or anything like that. Tell the listeners what Friday Families is about and how that's set up.
Well, when you're a fifth grader, you get, we'll say, adopted.
Sure.
You get adopted into this family with one teacher, and that is your staff leader or whatever. And you have multiple kids from each grade. You're trying to get everybody involved with one another. You're trying to get friends in new places. You're trying to get everybody to be, one big team.
Right. I love that. So I'm going to paraphrase for you just so for good understanding for our audience. So when you come in as a fifth grader, you get to join a family of fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth graders that you stick with all the way through your career at TMS. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
And your teacher leads you from start to finish. And then I've even heard some stories about how, when students go on to the high school, they're almost excited and kind of waiting for their family members from the middle school to join them at the high school. And, we hear that really difficult story about how somebody may not have anybody to sit with at lunch or something like that. But your family is somebody that you know well, and you're building those friendships and those relationships, and it kind of creates, a really nice place for people to be and a really nice culture in the building. Is that how you describe that?
Yes, I think Miss Schaefer creates kits or whatever for us to complete on a Friday, and that'll get us more connected. There's team building ones, and there's all sorts of ones there.
Fantastic. JK, what do you think is something that all folks should know about the middle school?
I would say there is no hierarchy. A lot of students think that when they go to the middle school and they're fifth graders or younger grades that it's going to be scary because of seventh and eighth graders, but
Sure.
even families that intertwines us kind of shows that you're not really separated anymore. Like you can sit with different grade levels and be friends with different grade levels and just have those supports from anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you ladies have done an amazing job today. And it's just another extension of the great work that you keep doing at the middle school. High school will be lucky to have both of you. We are all going to be watching your educational careers very closely. And Paisley, what are you going to be when you grow up? I'm putting you on the spot here.
Oh, gosh, I plan to be an equine surgeon.
An equine surgeon. That does not sound like an easy academic road ahead of you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what, I think you absolutely 100% could get it done. You're very talented and you're putting the work in, and you know all about how this work ethic equals opportunities. I'll be excited to see what your future. JK, what's going to be the future? Do you have a plan yet?
Probably a singer.
Yeah.
There it is.
I would study art and like musical things.
So I know that we said we were going to close this up, but I think it's wonderful that Paisley just shared that the middle school is doing such an amazing job preparing her for her future to be a equine surgeon. And JK is a person who is involved in the arts. And all four of my children are very different as well, and our schools have served them well. Ladies, I want to thank you for being on the podcast today. You have done an amazing job. This is the Bobcat Beat. We're going to sign off for today, but a special thank you to those students today here, Paisley Logan and JK Elder. And thank you for sharing time with me. And I know that our listeners are going to appreciate all the great things that you shared. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.